So you're gonna want to get your patcher open. This is patcher. So you're gonna want to go to this button right here. Click on that. Open this up. Just click on one of them. And up here, you're gonna go FL, mono, and then set that to in one. That way it's mono audio. Because some mics, they don't have two separate channels. So like if I do one in and then two in, you'll see like one is higher than the other, and it's just kind of funky and weird. Set it to the mono. It fixes everything. It's great. It's nice. Anyways, you'd have a patcher here. Just in one, the mixer slots. Who cares? Patcher. And then you'd follow my tutorial. Heyo guys, it's me Slitzy. I'm back with another video because I think I found an even better combine voice. I'm pretty sure. Seems it fuck, I can't talk. It seems pretty damn good. So again, I'm using FL Studio. You can get FL Studio for free, but it won't let you save, so you'll have to remake this every time. But you can see here I can actually save shit. So we'll call this Grunt Half-Life Alex. Oops. Alright. So first what we start off. Alright, actually first of all, you're gonna need two plugins. G-Form, which I'm pretty sure you can actually get for free. And then Vocalsynth. Now, you don't need Vocalsynth, but it does add a little like extra special kick to it. So like, here, let me do this real quick.
So here's an audio effect. Closing out a target. Overwatch decopy. Overwatch, he's still kicking it. Overwatch says stop kicking it.
So there's the effect. It sounds pretty damn alright if I do say so myself. And then here, let me just turn off Vocalsynth completely, and we'll, gauge how it sounds.
So here it is. It basically sounds the exact same. Vocalsynth does give it a little bit of a boost, but you really don't need it. It's actually perfectly fine if you don't. And you can understand me, kind of.
So yeah, let's get on to how I made it. So I start off with a fruity limiter. Oops. This is just acting as a noise gate to keep out all the random noise from my room or, roommates, etc. And so I just got it with a tiny, tiny threshold. You can see right there. It's absolutely small. And then gain all the way down. And, I got a little bit of attack, plenty of release. This is all basically stock right here. It's just a noise gate you're messing with. So a little bit of threshold depending on how much noise you have in your room. And then gain all the way down. After that, we have the G-Form, which is it's a pitch and a form and filter. Sorry for my chair moving around. So I have oversample on. It doesn't really do much, but I feel like it adds a little bit of extra kick to it. And so you do format down, negative 2.5. Pitch, you can just leave alone. It's perfectly fine. And actually, you're going to want to change this dependent on how deep or high-pitched your voice is. So that's just a little note. It basically depends on how your voice sounds, how much you'll have to tweak that. So we have this. Alright, so ignore this whole bottom piece. This doesn't exist for now. So we have G-Form running into an EQ, which has this cutoff like that. So I'm using the mastering, and then the sliders are here and here. I just kind of drag them in, almost in the middle of 2K, and like right at the last part of 2000. And so that just gives it a nice like radio-y sound. Then you want to go at a fruity balance, crank it up then go to fruity limiter. So here, you're gonna want to just drop the ceiling a little bit. So you'll see when I talk loud, it clips and just kind of cuts that off. Gives it more of like a thinner decibel range, I guess you could call it. And so that'll go to a fruity compressor. You can just have it be a default compressor. It doesn't matter at all. It just makes audio sound a little nicer. So I'll run into our final compressor down here, which I have set to the V driver, which sounds pretty good. Then you'll have it running to another limiter. So, alright. So then you go back to this limiter, run it back to another limiter with the exact same settings. So just save a preset. I made it limiter funny. And so just save it as a preset. And then use that. Then I got that running to Vocadex. No, like just default Vocadex. Nothing. Just, it's all stock. It's on default right now. Nothing at all. Run it to the fruity phaser and putting these settings. So 100 Hz sweep ratio, or sweep frequency. Minimum depth of 0, max depth of 1. Frequency range small, stereo, in half. 10 stages. 30% feedback. All the wet. And outgain, just have that be nothing. Well, not nothing, but, don't change the output gain at all. Then it's running into another EQ, which is kind of the same thing. I have it in half 100, and then, just a little bit before the half of 1K. Just to cut off all these, weird high-pitched frequencies. So
if I turn it on here, you can hear as I go up, it gets a little weirder, and you don't want that. Just cut it off here.
Cut off there. Sounds good. Then we pop it into another limiter. This one, you're actually going to lower way more. And, yeah, basically it's limiter funny, and I just crank the ceiling down even more. It looks about halfway what your size would normally be. So just crank that down more. Now put that into our main compressor. So this is really all you need. That's all you need. But if you want to add a little extra, get your deform, link it to Vocalsynth, and here are my settings. Try and follow these the best you can. So we have BioVox set on Math Blaster, clarity up, breath, a little bit, 34, level 31. Then we got the vocoder with scale 100 and level 100 on Planet Galaxy. CompuVox, we got bits set to 15, bytes set to 66, bats set to 37, spell, and then the level is 25 on your bass. These are empty, don't mess with those. Speed and strength are 100%, everything else, don't worry about it. Oh, I don't know what that is. We got output cranked all the way up. Gate is default, pan default, width default. So we got distort, drive 12, tone 37, set the analog on around 50% distort. It doesn't exactly matter as long as you're close to 50. We got set transform, sterling, high width, crank it up. And then that's it for this. So we have Vocalsynth leading to our EQ, which we want to cut off at around the beginning of 200 and right at 1K. And then again, link that to the compressor. So all these link to the compressor and then link outwards. And so here's a compressor. It's just running the V driver. It's a default, what's it called? Not template, I forget the name. Preset. It's just a default preset with FL Studio. And so I'll go to FL Studio. Now, how I got this to actually, go to what I want it to is you're going to install a thing called virtual cables. So if I go to search here, once it loads, take a little bit. VB audio. So yeah, we got voice meter. We also got a couple virtual cables installed. So that's what you're gonna want. You're gonna want to install virtual cables. You can learn all about them on Google. I'm not gonna explain what they are, but yeah. So you have your audio settings. Um, so you got options. Click audio. You'll have this device FL Studio AISO or ASIO. Um, so priority, highest, all this stuff, blah blah blah. Who cares? Sample rate, I think, is actually fairly high, or fairly decent at least. We might crank. Okay, never mind. Leave it alone, unless you want super high quality audio. But you're probably gonna use it in a video game, which will already compress it and shit. So you don't. It doesn't matter. Leave it alone. So we open this up. Here's our buffer length. I just have it really low. So set this to your microphone, and then I have it set to speakers so I can hear myself and actually have it go to OBS. But you're gonna want to set it to your virtual cable, and as soon as you do that, then you'll be able to go in your game and set that virtual cable output as your microphone, and people will be able to hear the voice changer. It's really cool. I'm gonna set it back to speaker so I can actually hear myself talk. But that's just how you get it switched. It's pretty damn cool, pretty neat stuff. When you do install virtual audio cables, you will have to reset your PC, but that's just because it's installing drivers. So that's just a given. But yeah, that's basically all I got for this video. I hope you liked it, and yeah, that's about it. Like and subscribe if you like it. Dislike if you dislike it. I will see you later.